Hi, we're here from Crossroads Center for Children, and this is our fourth time making a show with SAC TV. We want to thank our SAC TV hosts, Randall and Randy, that are back there filming everything. Thank you so much for getting this all together for us. This is our fourth show. Today we're sponsoring ourselves. We did not get a community sponsor, and we're hoping that for our next show that we're trying to put out, if anyone would like to be a business sponsor for our show, please reach out to us because that would be awesome. So today we're going to be talking about Crossroads. We're going to be talking about two parts. The first is our integrated preschool and nursery program and how that helps both groups of children. And then we'll be talking about our upcoming gala. So right now, let's start with some introductions, and then we'll get into some talk about our integrated preschool. I'm Vicki Ramatar. I do resource development for Crossroads, and we'll start with Kelly.
I'm Kelly Young. I'm the executive director at Crossroads. This is, again, the fourth show that you've seen my face here.
My name's Melissa Cleinman, and I'm the director of education at Crossroads.
And I'm Siobhan Sanders, and I work in the nurse's office, which is the healthcare unit of Crossroads Center for Children.
And I'm Kristen Lawler, a former parent of both programs, one a preschooler and one a preschooler with autism.
Awesome. So since we're talking about the integrated preschool, let's start with talking about the kids that, so we have three people that are here that had kids that were in our program. Can you share maybe something about your time that you remember from why you chose Crossroads for your child that was not on the spectrum or not with an IEP to be in our program, why you did make that choice. To whoever would like to jump in with that one.
I can start.
Okay.
So my boys attended as nursery school students because it was important to me that they have exposure and learn some compassion. Siobhan taught my oldest how to write his name, so that was great. So the important part of that was that they got some really great early readiness skills in a really nice structured and supported environment, but they learned to accept and be friends with everybody. And it's really carried on. So they're both in high school now, but they still are demonstrating that compassion and support and understanding of others. They don't look at anybody any differently, and so the lessons that they learned as preschoolers have really carried on, and I attribute Crossroads to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I, first, my oldest daughter was a convenience because I began to work at Crossroads Center for Children as a TA, and to bring my child with me was a great opportunity, and it was convenient. She could be able to be dropped off and I can go to work. But learning so much of what she had learned, and when she went into kindergarten, how the teacher just said she was so diverse, and she just had so many skills, and she was a team leader, a very, very good feedback. So when I had my second child, he came in as a preschooler because I thought it would also help him as well, and he did 2 years, and he's just flourishing. He's now in second grade, and he's doing well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for me, my situation was a little bit different in that my eldest son, Sam, was diagnosed fairly young, around 2, went to center-based program at Crossroads. We had found out shortly after Sam was diagnosed that we were pregnant with my daughter, and Sam was well into his program at Crossroads when we had Morgan. We did it kind of out of convenience, to put her there. We needed a preschool for her. But I think for her, it was particularly special and meaningful. Morgan was probably the best thing we could have done for Sam in terms of helping him along with his spectrum diagnosis, in that he didn't learn incidentally. And having Morgan, sort of model neurotypical behavior was great for him in progressing him along. So when she went to the preschool there, it was much like Melissa's experience in that she learned the compassion and the tools that she would need for future caring for Sam, which she does on a daily basis, sometimes better than I do. And Sam, I can't say enough in terms about the spectrum portion of what Crossroads Center for Children offers. He's now in mainstream classrooms and is really truly thriving in his life right now, and we attribute both kids' experiences to what they took from Crossroads.
I remember when special ed was like everything was self-contained. Everything was all grouped together. When I was growing up, I think there was one special ed classroom in my school, and it was way at the back of the building, and nobody ever saw those kids. And if they did, they were very different. And I think the research, there's a lot of research out there, and we don't want to bore everybody with like all this different studies, but with the role modeling and the, integration is really how I was taught as a teacher going through my training about integration, how much that is a good model for both parties. And that's why we do that at Crossroads. And as the director of the program, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that most kids benefit from that. There's some kids that aren't ready to learn from their peers, so they haven't learned maybe those imitation skills yet or those joint attention skills yet. But for the most part, absolutely, it's great to have those peer models there. I think it really helps both ways for both groups of students.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we know that there's research out there to say, so we teach our children to imitate, right? So if we want them to play a certain way with a toy, we show them this is how to do it, just as you do with most children, and then they learn to imitate. But there is research to show that kids learn best and will imitate best when the models are closer to them, so closer in age to them, maybe same sex as them. And so we know that putting these kids then in integrated classrooms at preschool, now they're learning from other kids. They're not just learning from adults, which they still may need that, but they're going to learn a lot of those things from the kids. So when it's circle time and it's time to stand up and transition to sitting at the table and all the other kids stand up, hopefully our kids are learning, okay, I'm looking around, I'm watching what's happening, now I know I need to do that, without a teacher coming over and saying, what do you need to do, or kind of pointing them in the direction. They're learning from their peers. So it's been nice to see the benefits on both sides, and I think everyone's kind of spoken to that there's benefits for our kids with special needs who are there, but the kids who are coming in as nursery school students, they're benefiting as well from all those things.
So we've talked a lot about how our school, we're trying to reach out to people that have kids with developmental disabilities that can benefit from our ABA program. But today, kind of getting at that other side of it, like why would people out there that have little kids, why would they choose Crossroads? There's a lot of daycares out there, a lot of great preschools, but what is so why should people think about Crossroads? Because they don't even know. They don't realize that they can do that. We're getting more and more preschool kids now, but there's a lot of people that don't realize that. Oh, I could use that. That's a great. And why would they choose that? Like, what are some of the takeaways for those people that you could tell them?
So besides what Melissa said about the compassion element, kind of expanding their world at a young age to see people with varying degrees of functional abilities, educational abilities, I look at it from a different perspective in that most human behavior is affected or guided by multiple people in your lives, teachers, parents, and I find at Crossroads, there's a lot of behavioral intervention at levels that people don't know that it's going on, and it can affect that child permanently in how they tackle a certain thing that they're doing. For instance, even now I use some of the behavioral techniques that were taught to me in dealing with Sam now for any kid I meet, nephews, nieces, things like that, as well as my own kids. And I find that looking at behaviors as something that you can modify in a way and collect data on and do things like that is great for even the neurotypically developing child.
Really
and sometimes we lack that as parents because we don't have that background. And I wouldn't have certainly had it if I didn't come here and get treatment for Sam. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's certainly a more structured program, I think, than most daycares or nursery schools that kids are going to go to. So some parents are looking for that. They're looking for kids to get ready to go to kindergarten. And our program is, especially at the pre-K level, more academic focused. We're teaching all those things, those behavioral strategies and social skills and play and all that. But we also are teaching handwriting and math, and we've got curriculums that are implemented from preschool level all the way up through school age. So they're getting a good education. We've heard that often as kids leave us, that they're ready for kindergarten when they leave us, and so I think that's important too. I think one question, and I'm speaking for Melissa, but I think one question that she gets when she tours family often is, but your kids with autism have a lot of behaviors, and is my kid going to pick up those kind of behaviors? And you want to talk to like how you would necessarily answer that for parents, because that is a question that comes up a lot, I think.
So we really look at the function of behaviors, and we look at why kiddos are doing what they're doing. And behaviors are maintained by reinforcement. And so, if a child's engaging in a behavior and they're not getting something out of that behavior. So for example, if they're engaging in a tantrum behavior and they get attention from the teacher, another child might look and say, oh, that's how I get attention from the teacher, I engage in tantrum behavior. But there's such a focus on positive behaviors, there's such a focus on appropriate behaviors and planned ignoring, that even if they see those behaviors, they're not going to be maintained because they're not being reinforced within the classroom. And so I think that that's helpful. And actually what those kiddos are learning is how to get the appropriate attention. So the flip of that is, while they might see a child engaging in a tantrum, what they're going to hear from the teacher modeled is, if you want my attention, just call my name or tap me on the shoulder. And so it's really teaching them some more of those pro-social behaviors in a little bit more of a concrete way. And it's being taught by remarkable staff. I think that's the other piece too, is all of our staff is certified through New York State, and they're top notch. The classrooms are richly staffed too, so that's another benefit of it all. So to make sure that, even if those behaviors are occurring, we're catching them on a moment by moment basis and kind of addressing them in a pro-social way.
Very good.
And we're seeing more of the children being integrated in our districts as well. Diane can carry over some skills that he've learned from Crossroads. Like if a child was having a hard time, he'll be like, he had a hard time, but Mom, look what I did. I gave him this. So again, it gave them, ways to be able to redirect some children, redirecting some of the behaviors and bringing children out of where their mindset was at. But also, all of my children have volunteered at Crossroads, and I'm a proud mom. That I have had. Even when my youngest daughter was enrolled, as they got older, they were able to volunteer. Crossroads opened the door. My oldest daughter was in the school age room, and she was able to volunteer, and they have learned so much. Also, a proud mom to say that they enjoyed it so much that they now work at Crossroads. And so I just know that this is something that is very beneficial to the families that have children that are typical, that can go in. We're teaching them, they're learning, and they're able to integrate those behaviors, those things that they are have learned from Crossroads, and give it back in district, so it's a good thing.
What are you thinking?
A lot of what Melissa said, I think human behavior is all over the place. And I think when you try to micromanage your children's environment or their behavior, you're setting them up for a little bit of failure. The world is an interesting place with all kinds of varying people. And if you can teach them how to adapt to certain behaviors, even now, we're talking about, I have middle school kids, and it's a lot of not giving attention for bad behavior and reinforcing good behavior. And I think that as adults, we even forget that when you react to something, it's your reaction that's getting the attention, not exactly what you want to articulate from your behavior. So I think that that's extremely important, and I would say probably the reasons why people shy away from the program, when you hear that, it would be just the opposite. I would think that's actually why you want to come here, because you will be setting the stage for an inclusive world for your kids, and how to deal with obstacles, and also how to see spectrum children in the light that they should be seen, which is not that they have a disability, but more that they have a different way of looking at the world and interpreting their internal things that are coming at them.
I think, I know we're going to run out of time, but I guess in closing, I also want to reiterate that our preschool is very much like any other preschool. If you walk in, it looks like a preschool. We do field trips, we do birthday parties, we do all those things that should happen, but we offer a lot more support. So whether it be for our students with disabilities or our students who don't have any disabilities, but a parent coming in, you're not going to know all those supports necessarily that are happening, and it really just looks like a preschool. And so we're giving, it's not like you're sending them away to boot camp or something. It really is a typical preschool environment, just with a lot of supports and strategies built into it.
very positive.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
positive across the board. A very supportive environment with a lot of teamwork and collaboration. And I think I would want my kids there if I was having new ones, which I would definitely want to. Any closing thoughts, or did we say everything we wanted to say?
Call me for a tour.
That's a good one.
And we recommend your kids to come. I had my goddaughter came. So it's something that can be beneficial. They will learn so much. And we see them carry those same things over in their typical lives.
And we have different options for enrollment. So we have, part weeks versus full weeks. We do have wraparound care before and after if students need that. So Melissa is the contact at the school. If you call the school, ask for Melissa. She'll set up a tour and show you the classroom, spend some time talking about your little one, and then we see if it's a good fit.
Yeah. And go on our website because you can see different blogs about the classrooms and see what it really, see the staff working with the kids and different things that we are posting all the time too. www.crossroadscenter.org. So, any last minute?
And I would just say, in the way that you said kids learn better from kids, if there's a parent out there that's considering it and would feel more comfortable speaking to a parent, these guys certainly know how to get a hold of me, and I would be willing to do that.
Thank you. That's cool. Kristen. Very cool. Well, thank you all for being here and putting yourselves in a out of our comfort zone again. It's getting more comfortable every time. Yeah. So, thank you, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. Welcome back. We're back from Crossroads Center for Children. We have a new panel now, and we're here to talk about our biggest fundraiser of the year, which is our annual gala. And let's start, again, this panel with our introductions. Again, I'm Vicki Ramatar. I'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Zac Barr, and I have been providing the DJ and hosting services for the gala for about 9 years now.
That's amazing.
So,
thank you for being here today and taking time out of your day.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Rachel Frederick. I've been working at Crossroads now for going into my 16th year. I'm currently a teacher assistant in one of our school age rooms. I'm on the Gala committee, and I also do some of our clinic work.
And I'm Kelly Young, Executive Director. And Rachel also, she mentioned she's on the Gala committee, but she's certainly been a big part of the Gala committee for many years. And I think that's kind of what we want to talk about, is what goes into the Gala and why that's an important part of our fundraising for the year.
Yeah. So how long have we been doing a gala?
Oh boy, I didn't look that number up, but I'm gonna say we started in '98. We probably did our first gala in 2001, two maybe, something like that.
Pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
And has it grown over the years?
It definitely has grown. In fact, we've gone through a couple different venues because we started and then outgrew the venue that we were at, which we were happy with. But it's always sad to move on to people that have supported us. But we've gone through a couple different venues, and now we have been having it at the Lighthouse, Water's Edge Lighthouse in Glenville, and that's worked out really well for us. Although hopefully, not that we don't love them, but hopefully we're going to outgrow that space soon too. So it has continued to grow.
Yep. So what are some of the themes of galas in the past? Maybe like 3 themes that we've had.
I know we did one, and I don't remember what the actual wording was, but it was a masquerade theme. That was one that I remember was really fun. We all had our masquerade masks. We did one about celebrating uniqueness in all of us.
Wasn't that
Last year, right?
Yeah. I don't know that we always had a theme when we first started, and originally I don't think we did it every year in April either. But we've decided that that's important to celebrate Autism Awareness Month with our biggest fundraiser. So we've kind of moved and stuck with April. We've dedicated the gala to Zachary Whitman, who was one of our students who helped start the program and has since unfortunately passed. So his family is very much involved. His mom is still on the committee. His grandparents are diamond sponsors for us and have been this last several years and make the trip out from Western New York to come out and support our gala every year. So we do that in his honor every year. But I think every year it's a nice opportunity, regardless of the theme, to talk about successes we've had within the year, recognize people who have supported us throughout the year. We recognize staff who have completed milestone years and who have been with us for a long time. It's really a night of celebration. So regardless of what the theme is, I think that we really use that night to celebrate.
Right. And this year's theme, though, is it's based on this book, Guess How Much I Love You. And this book is really a sweet bedtime book that a lot of parents will recognize, I think, and teachers. And it talks about how this little bunny he loves his big bunny so much, and he keeps thinking of like how far he can reach and how high he can jump, and then the big bunny always like comes back with so much more that the big bunny sees and how much he does. So for us, I feel like that, like at Crossroads, we are always going through what we do is like so much more. We love you so much that we'll work through these difficult things and we'll get you to where you need to go. And so that's what it's based on, and it's going to have just pictures in the PowerPoint of like some of the kids doing things and stuff like that. But so
yeah, I mean, on a daily basis, it's never a dull moment. We do work through so many things, and our kids are just amazing. The staff, the families we work with. So it's a great theme, and
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So what else? Music. I wanted to say, like, you do such an amazing job of getting people involved at our gala. Why are you rolling your eyes? Are you getting choked up?
Let me tell you, I get very emotional when I talk about the gala. I really do. I got involved initially because I have autism within my family, diagnosed with my family. And from the first gala that I did, just wandering around, kind of promoting this item or that item, listening to the parents and hearing them talk about the strides that their children had made. When you hear a mom or a dad talk to another couple about how their child came into the pre-K not interacting with anyone at all, and now they're the first hug they got from the kid, and I well up. I mean, it was at that moment I fell in love with the program and the cause. It's amazing for me. So I go, how far can I reach? How far can I go for you guys? Because it's worth every minute I spend. I mean, I get back so much that I could never, it's amazing.
And I think we appreciate that, and I don't want to make this the DJ Zac Barr show, but
No, please don't. No.
But I think it's important for people to know that you give a lot back to the community in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not just Crossroads. There are other organizations that I know you donate your time to, and we're fortunate. I mean, not only are we fortunate that you donate every year and are willing to be there to play the music, but like Rachel or Vicky, I remember one of you said, that you do such a good job of getting people up and moving and participating. And I don't have to worry about the night. I know that you're going to kind of take things, and if you need me to speak, then I do, and otherwise you're going to make sure people are bidding on items. And so I don't want that to go unsaid, that we appreciate what you do for Crossroads, but I do know that you do a lot for the community as well. And we were privileged to be able to honor Zac last year at our gala and give him an award for his dedication to Crossroads. So that's, I said before, that's an important part of the night for us, is really thanking the people that have supported us. So
Absolutely.
We give out awards to people in the community that have supported us, and recognizing the staff that have supported us over many years, but also the families and the people that keep coming back. I mean, Zac brought table of people to the gala, and he brings people in too, so it's not just him coming that night, but we've been really happy to bring new people to the gala. So it's great to see the same faces, but it's also nice to bring new people and introduce them to what we do. And the parents, absolutely, Zac, you're right. Those are the stories that that are great to hear is staff and parents talking about the kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's
It's the
important.
big, that's the best part of the evening
Yep.
for me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really is.
I know my dad always says, like, there's so many staff at our gala, and it's like so great to see the energy and the dedication from our employees, and that's like he'll sit there for the whole night. Well, I think he doesn't dance, so. So
As long as he's tapping his toes and nodding his head, I'm okay.
I was watching how many staff turn out from it. We do get a lot of parents, and but we want everybody in the public. Anyone can come, and
I was just gonna say
we
that.
send out like a lot of invitations via email and on our website and on Facebook and through the mail. Did I say that and everything? But we might not have reached everybody that we want to invite, and so this is our invitation. And this is invited, you're invited. If you're watching.
Please come.
It is on our website. You can actually register online on our website, on our fundraising page. We have a great block of rooms that's reserved for us until, I think, March 30th. It is a deadline.
The end of the
but
month, yeah.
if you-
Although it could extend probably a couple
Yeah.
days.
Probably could, and they gave us a good discount. Tom Gabriel at the Marriott worked out a great deal for us at the Marriott, which is right across the bridge, because the rooms at the Water's Edge aren't going to be ready for this year.
So, Vicki, do you want to talk about date and time and that kind of stuff for Gala?
So it's April 29th. It starts at 6 and it goes till 10, although some of us have been known to linger longer. And then it starts off with, you check in. We have our silent auction all around the room. It's amazing. It's the best. I've gone to a lot of silent auctions and galas and things, and it's probably
The generosity from the community
Yeah.
is astonishing.
We get a lot of stuff.
Amazing.
It's really nice.
And we do a live auction as well.
And we do a
get
live
some-
auction
some
later.
auctions.
And a raffle
Yep.
as well this year.
Yep.
Yep.
Vicki, you mentioned that you've been to a lot of galas. So what makes Crossroads different than all the other
we're
galas
turning
that
the
you do?
table,
Yes, we
asking me
are.
questions. Well, it's not stuffy.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun. Our gala is fun. It's meaningful. Like, you definitely see the impact of our program on our kids, and that's one thing. Like, there's a lot of causes out there that are really great, and my husband and I give a lot of different things, and a lot of groups are taking care of a lot of people, but Crossroads is like, we need the money for the kids right now, here and now, and that's like, it's just so direct, and that's what's different. It's like, you see the kids and you see something about the parents or something about the staff that makes your heart just
I think because we're
burst.
still relatively small. I mean, we're certainly
Yeah.
growing, and we've grown with the number of students and families that we serve, but we're still relatively small. So when you're making a donation at the gala that it's here for this small group. It's
Right.
not being spread out a lot of places. And I think that's important. I think people like to
Yeah.
know that too.
Yeah.
That
and you have a good time. It's just a nice energy of people. It's just supportive and uplifting, and it's and like I said, it's not stuffy. We do have presentations, but it doesn't get like
No.
yeah.
like that. It's just kind of more. It's just more genuine.
It flows nicely.
authentic.
It's good. You get to talk to past parents, present parents, all the staff, and the everybody in the community. So it's a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's so we talked about how great it is, and we would like more people to come and support us, whether it be through a donation, attending the gala would be awesome. We are collecting raffle items. Vicki mentioned the raffles that we're talking about. So we are still looking for donations for that. If you'd like to sponsor, we have different sponsorship levels. But it's important to Crossroads.
What's our highest sponsorship level, in case somebody out there is like, oh, I really want to make a sponsor. I want to sponsor this event. Is it 225?
2,500 might be the top level sponsor,
Yeah.
although it goes, there are certainly a range.
Yeah.
So we would
start at 500.
And if those sponsorship levels don't work for somebody, we would work with them too to come up with something that everyone's comfortable with. We want people to be a part of it and not have that hold them back. But it's important to Crossroads. So we talk about all the fun of it and a great time, but it's also important to us. It is one of our major fundraisers for the the year. We have 2 really big fundraisers, our golf tournament in the fall and our gala in the spring. And so we really rely on that to bring a lot of extras to our program. And I know we've talked on other shows before about our funding streams and how we need to rely on donations and fundraising as a nonprofit school. But in order to do those things that we talked about earlier in the show, we talked about the field trips and those kinds of things, all of that, we rely on donations to do all of that for our kids. And those things aren't inexpensive. They cost money for the school, but they are important experiences for our kids. So it's important to us to raise money that night, not just have a good time, but really it's an important part of what we need.
Yeah. Okay, 2 questions. What are you wearing this year?
Not who are you wearing? That's usually what the question is.
I have a quick question. Right off the top of your head, do you know?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, because I've seen you in everything from short to a formal gown, and I think that needs to be said that you can, come really dressed up and down to the dime, or you can come in, something more cocktaily, or I've seen even people in a nice, slack suit. So it could go any way. And what's your favorite song to play at our gala? Is that a bad question?
Well, let me see.
I have something. Or maybe what's a song you like?
One of the ones that I know you're going to hear is going to be, of course, Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
It's still filling the floors like crazy.
Yeah, I remember that from last year, I believe.
Absolutely like crazy. And just, the request line is open now. Just start asking. I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, so they can probably, if somebody has a request now, they could put it on our Facebook page, and you're on our Facebook page.
I see it.
They'll follow it.
Absolutely.
That's good. And the raffle, do we have time? I know he gave us the 2 minutes, but we do have a raffle on there too for a cool thing in Florida.
And that's going to be there's information on the website, so people can look it up.
On our fundraising page. Go right to our fundraising page and you'll find everything you need, including sponsorships and all yada yada.
You can purchase tickets for the raffle or the gala itself right through the fundraising page. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for all being here. And thank you to Randall and Randy Haig from Zac TV, who are the most amazing creative people back there putting this all together for us. We appreciate their help very much in getting our message out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And it's a wrap.